Now, the crisis of 1900 and 1991 forced India to borrow the money from the IMF and World Bank. Okay. Now, to manage the economic crisis of 1991, Indian government approached International Bank for Reconstruction and Development, that is IBRD. It is also known as World Bank. And the International Monetary Fund and received $7 billion as a loan. But this loan was a conditional one. It was not a loan which was to be repaid on the basis of the interest, but it was conditional. Now, to achieve this loan, there was certain condition. Okay, as we have to import the food grains, we were compelled to sign PL 480. Okay, however, India did not for agricultural produce to United States of America. Similarly, we have to enter into an agreement that to avail this loan, international agencies expected India to liberalize and open up the economy, first of all by removing the restrictions on the private sector, that is liberalization. Secondly, reduction in the role of the government in many areas. As we have studied in the previous chapter, government failed, public sector failed. What can be produced, what to produce, and what not to produce. What can be done by the private sector, what can be done only by the government sector. And there should be a removal of the trade restrictions, that is tariffs and quotas. And this loan was not granted, that $7 billion. It is not a loan. It was against the mortgaged amount of 25 tons of gold to the Bank of England. ये बात अलग है कि हमने उसको बाद में वापस रिकवर कर लिया था, वो पैसा हमारे पास वापस आ गया था. Elsewise, the position was not a single country was ready to give the oil, and without oil we cannot proceed ahead. Whatever the trucks, trains, buses, all would have stopped at that time. Now, this new economic policy can be studied, and it was announced in July 1991. Now, it consisted of wide range of economic reforms. The main policy was to create more competitive environment, as I have told you, efficiency and efficiency in the economy, and to remove the barrier to entry and growth of firms. Okay? Now, these measures are broadly grouped into two parts. One is stabilization measures. Whenever the patient comes, okay, to the hospital, if he has met an accident or whatever it may be, okay, first he needs to be stabilized. His condition needs to be stabilized. Okay, and the second is structural measures. Now, let me take upon first the stabilization measures. Now, stabilization measures are those measures or policies which meant to strengthen the demand side of the economic system. एक तरफ होती है डिमांड, एक तरफ होती है सप्लाई. Okay, डिमांड क्रिएट करें. These are short-term measures, not long-term, which intended to correct the weaknesses that have developed in the balance of payments and to bring the inflation under control. These measures are essential for the success of structural reforms. Okay, you cannot go for structural measures until and unless the demands are created. Okay. Now, to these measures included at that time liberal monetary policy, That is by lowering the interest rate was very high. Okay, still I remember on FDs we used to get about 14% interest. Okay, so the loan was 18%. If anybody has to take a housing loan, it was 18%, 17%, 18%, 16%. I remember still. Then adjustment of exchange rate of rupee. Okay, there are three systems: fixed rate exchange, flexible, and managed floating. That in balance of payment we have read about. You have read about it, okay, in the worksheet and all. Then there was a change in fiscal policy, that is the taxation and expenditure policy, and there was basically, due to the labor laws in India, there was a urgent need to bring about the wage income policy. Now at that time, the President of India used to get the highest salary in India, and according to the law of that time, nobody can have an income above than President of India, and the President of India at that time used to get rupees 5,000. His salary was 5,000. Okay, fixed. Now after stabilization, there was an structural measure. Now this was or we can say the structural measures refers to those policies which tend to consolidate the supply side of the economic system. Now stabilization measures are short term. Now these are the long term measures which aim at improving the efficiency of the economy and increasing the international competitiveness. Okay, economic efficiency has to be, the efficiency of the economy has to be increased, and secondly the international competitiveness has to be grown by removing the hurdles in various segments of the Indian economy. Now this included, first of all, policy relating to trade, technology and foreign investment policies reforms. Now at that time, as I have told you, there was no provision of the FDI. There was we have to enter into a collaboration. Okay, for example, Hero with Honda, Maruti with Suzuki, and all. So there was no system of foreign direct investment. Okay, that means you can control the economy by direct investment. Second was, there was an urgent need for industrial sector reforms. That was covered under the liberalization. Third was, there were the financial sector reforms, that is in the banking. And fourthly, there was an urgent need to address the public sector. Okay. Now, in the next session, I will be taking up on the main features of the economic reforms or new economic policy. That is liberalization, privatization and globalization. Thank you. Jai Hind.